All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live inside of Felton J. Capel Arena for today's matchup. It's the Broncos of Fayetteville State University taking on the Knights of St. Andrews University. We are expecting a great game here today. The Broncos are 6-5 overall. The Knights are 7-4 overall. This will be a great matchup here today inside of Felton J. Capel Arena. I am your commentator for today's game, Mr. Brian Barber. Currently, the Broncos of Fayetteville State University are undefeated here inside Felton J. Capel Arena. Last game against Mount Olive, they swept 3-0. The Broncos are looking forward to doing the same here tonight against the Knights of St. Andrews University. As you can hear, the energy inside of Felton J. Capel Arena is very loud. Fans are into it today. Bronco pride is definitely here inside of Felton J. Capel Arena. And it is game time here in Felton J. Capel Arena. Can I get an attitude check? And 7% tonight was number 10. That was Shalia Powell. Serve does not make it all the way. It gives the Broncos their first point of the game. And now serving for the Broncos is number 12, Nia Bell. That is the sophomore out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And a great save by number 12, Nia Bell. And the ball taps the antenna on its way over the net to give their Broncos their second point of today's matchup. Once again, back up at the line for the Lady Broncos is number 12, Nia Bell. Oh, another great save by number 12, Nia Bell. Number 13, Alicia Ortiz, make sure it gets back over the net. And it just doesn't make it back over the net by the Lady Broncos. A strong attempt, but it gives St. Andrews their first point of the match. St. Andrews has made a great comeback, bringing the lead for 4-2. They were able to tie up the matchup, but now bring a strong lead here today. Serving for the St. Andrews Knights was number 20, Tessa Smith. The ball does not make it back over the net. Broncos is now back on their way to the lead. It is now 3-4. Serving for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark. That is a sophomore out of Milton, Georgia. And a slight tap over the net by the Knights. And the senior Jay Jacobs gets it back over the net for the Broncos. Just barely remains inbounds. Ties the game up at 4-4 for the Broncos here today. Still serving at the line for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark.
Serving for the Broncos is Paige Clark.
And the serve goes out of bounds. St. Andrews is back up now. It is now 5-4. Serving for the St. Andrews Knights is number 8, Karina Lozada. Great setup by number 8, Karina Lozada. The Knights get it back over the net, and it just barely remains in bounds to continue their lead. It is now 6-4. Still serving at the net for the Knights is number 8, Karina Lozada. And another ball makes it onto the court, so they're going to have to redo the serve. Still serving at the line for the Knights is number 8, Karina Lozada. Ball is returned by number 13, Arlicia Ortiz. A great save for the Broncos by number 1, Paige Clark. And number 13, Arlicia Ortiz, makes a strong kill back over the net. That is the senior out of Washington. And for the Broncos is number 8, Raven Osley Brown, as well as number 6, Avery Shaw. And it looks like Avery Shaw will be serving for the Broncos. A great save by the Broncos during that last set. Ball goes out of bounds. A great attempt by the Broncos. It is now 7-5. St. Andrews Knights are currently up. And serving for St. Andrews is number 13, Brooke Thomas. She's a sophomore out of Brunswick, Georgia. Slight conversation between the refs before we get the serve on the way. And we are clear to play ball. Serve is over the net. Great setup by number 6, Avery Shaw for the Broncos. Oh, and a slight trick out there by the Broncos. A great save by number 1, Paige Clark. Jay Jacobs is there to make sure it gets back over the net. And the Knights hit the ball out of bounds. The Broncos are trying to make a resurgence here. It is now 6-7. Serving at the line for the Broncos is number 13, Arlicia Ortiz, the senior out of Washington State. Raven Osley Brown is there to make the save for the Broncos to tie the game up at 7-7. Still serving at the line for the Broncos is number 13, Arlicia Ortiz. And the Knights are not able to make the save. The Broncos have now retaken back the lead. It is now 8-7. The Broncos are making their way back up. Once again, still serving at the line for the Broncos is number 13, Arlicia Ortiz. And the ball just goes out of bounds on the Knights side, which gives the Knights the point and ties it up at 8-8. Serving for the Knights is number 1, Austin Payne. She's a senior out of Kingsport, Tennessee. And the ball goes out of bounds once again to give St. Andrews the lead. It is now 9-8. St. Andrews is up. And still serving for St. Andrews is number 1, Austin Payne. A strong hit back by the Broncos. Number 2, Jay Jacobs, the senior from right here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. She gives the Broncos the next point to tie it back up at 9-9. And it looks like she will also be taking the next serve for the Broncos. Oh, and St. Andrews is there to make the save.
Block for number 14 and 2.
A double tandem block there by number 14, Alex Blackwell, and number 2, Kia Cheatham. They give St. Andrews the next point to bring their lead back up. It is now 10-9.
Number 2, Kia Cheatham.
And serving for the Knights is number 2, Kia Cheatham. She was along with that team to give the Knights their last point. Ball goes out of bounds on the serve. It is the Broncos' point. Coming in for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney, as well as number 3, Bridget Nathan. And it looks like number 15, Nakia McKinney, will be serving for the Broncos. She is a sophomore out of Niceville, Florida. And the block is made by the Broncos on the way back, and it gives the Broncos the lead once again. It is 11-10. The Broncos have made a resurgence. This has been a very strong matchup so far. And still serving up for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney. Nakia McKinney is there to make the save for the Broncos. Number 13, Alicia Ortiz, makes sure it gets back over the net. She is there once again. And a strong hit back by number 4. That's Bojo Jada. She gives the Broncos the next point to bring the lead up to 12-10. Still serving for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney. That was a strong kill by number 4, Bojo Jada. A great save by number 1, Paige Clark. Ball is returned back over the net by number 12, Nia Bell. Ball is last touched by the Broncos before it goes out of bounds, which gives the Knights their next point to bring it to 11-12. The Broncos still remain with the lead here today.
Serving for St. Andrews, number 10, Shalia Powell.
And serving for St. Andrews Knights will be number 10, Shalia Powell. She's a sophomore out of Dayton, Nevada. Ball is returned by the Broncos. It happens to go out of bounds, which gives the point to the Knights, which ties the game back up at 12-12. Ball is saved by the Knights. Too many hits. The point goes to the Broncos to give them the lead. Once again, it is 13-12. And still serving for the Broncos is number 12, Nia Bell, the sophomore out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Alicia Ortiz is there to make sure it gets back over the net for the Broncos. Number 20 with a strong kill for the Knights. Number 15, Nakia McKinney, makes sure it gets back over the net. Strong save by the Broncos. And it just barely makes it over the net once again. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last tipped by the Broncos, which ties the game back up once again at 13-13. Serving for the Knights is number 20, Tessa Smith. A strong kill by number 4, Bojo Jada. She gives the Broncos the point to bring their lead back up. It is now 14-13. The Broncos are up. And serving for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark, the sophomore out of Milton, Georgia. Broncos point. Oh, it looks like the refs are going to have a slight conversation here before we continue. Maybe a question about that last point. The ruling was that it went to the Broncos. And it looks like it's going to switch. Point goes to St. Andrews, which ties the game back up at 14-14. Very strong matchup so far. Ties back and forth. No lead so far have been over 5 points. Serving for St. Andrews is number 8, Karina Lozada. A great save by number 10 for the Broncos. That's Alexis Hollis. A great save by number 1, Paige Clark. She ensures that the Broncos are still going to have a chance here. Number 13, Arlisa Ortiz, make sure it get back over the net. And the Broncos are not able to make the save, which gives St. Andrews the lead once again. It is now 15-14. We have a very close matchup here today, ladies and gentlemen. And still serving for the Knights is number 8, Karina Lozada. And the ball is over. Ball is returned by the Knights by number 2, Kia Cheatham. And a strong kill there by number 2, Kia Cheatham. She gives the Knights the next point. It is now 16-14. The Knights do, in fact, have the lead. Still serving for the Knights is number 8, Karina Lozada. Ball is returned by the Broncos. Whoa, and a great save by number 1, Paige Clark. But unfortunately, it was not enough because the point goes to St. Andrews, which continues their lead. It is now 17-14. And number 13, Arlisa Ortiz, is there to make sure it gets back over the net. The point goes to the Broncos. It is now 15-17.
Serving number 6, Avery Shaw.
Serving for the Broncos is number 6, Avery Shaw, the junior out of Gig Harbor, Washington State. And the point goes to the Broncos to continue their resurgence here in today's game. It is 16-17. The Broncos are down by 1 point. And a great save there by the Broncos, and nobody is there to return it for St. Andrews, which ties it back up for the Broncos. It is 17-17 here, ladies and gentlemen. A very strong matchup we have here so far inside of Felton J. Capel Arena here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And the point goes to St. Andrews. And serving for St. Andrews Knights is number 13, Brooke Thomas, the sophomore out of Brunswick, Georgia. And the Broncos are there to make a strong kill. That was number 8, Raven Osley Brown, the senior out of St. Paul, Minnesota. She is there to tie it back up for the Broncos. It is 18-18.
Serving number 13, Alicia Ortiz.
And serving up for the Broncos is Arlicia Ortiz, the senior out of Washington State. And the Broncos are there to make the save once again to give them the lead. Broncos have taken back the lead. It is 19-18 here, ladies and gentlemen. Still serving is the senior Arlicia Ortiz. Ball is hit out of bounds by the Knights. It is 20-18. The Lady Broncos have the lead, and a timeout is called.
Timeout, St. Andrews.
We have a strong matchup going on here so far, ladies and gentlemen. And we are back here from the timeout. Serving at for the Broncos is number 13, Arlicia Ortiz. The score is currently 20-18. The Broncos are up. It's been a very back and forth matchup here today. Ties back and forth. And this is only the first set, ladies and gentlemen. And the ball is hit out of bounds by the Broncos. Number 6, Avery Shaw. Point goes to the St. Andrews Knights, which gives them the point. It is 19-20. The Broncos still have maintained the lead so far. Serving for the St. Andrews Knights is number 1. That is Austin Payne. And there to make the strong kill by the Broncos is number 2, Jay Jacobs, the senior out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And it looks like number 2, Jay Jacobs, will also take the next serve for the Broncos. The score is currently 21-19. Oh, and number 12, Nia Bell is there to get it back over the net for the Broncos. And number 8, Raven Osley Brown is there to make the kill to take the point. It is 22-19. The Broncos have the lead. Timeout called here.
Timeout, St. Andrews.
And the ball is hit out of bounds by the Knights. It is 23-19. The Broncos are up and they're maintaining a strong lead here today. Once again, serving for the Broncos is the senior Jay Jacobs from right here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And the service hit out of bounds. The point goes to the Knights. It is 20-23.
Serving number 2, Kia Cheatham.
And serving for the Knights is number 2, Kia Cheatham. Ball is saved by number 13, Alicia Ortiz for the Broncos. And number 8, Raven Ozzy Barnes to make sure the Broncos are given the match point. Coming in for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney, as well as number 3, Bridget Nathan.
Serving number 15, Nakia McKinney.
And it looks like number 15, Nakia McKinney, will be taking the serve for the Broncos. It is match point. The Broncos are not there to make the save, which gives the point to St. Andrews. It is 21-24. It is still match point for the Broncos.
Serving number 10, Shalia Powell.
And serving for the Knights is number 10, Shalia Powell. My apologies, serving for the Knights is number 10, Shalia Powell. The Broncos are not able to save the ball. St. Andrews gets the point. It is 22-24. Broncos still have match point. And once again, serving for the Knights is number 10, Shalia Powell, the sophomore out of Dayton, Nevada. And a timeout is taken by the Broncos. And we are back from the timeout. Once again, serving for the Knights is number 10, Shalia Powell. It is match point for the Broncos. It is 24-22. And no one's there to make the save for the Knights. The Broncos take the first match, 25-22. First set was taken here by the Broncos. A great set here, ladies and gentlemen. Back and forth continuously. Very strong showing here so far by both teams.
Your timeline right now, be sure to follow us on Twitter at FSU Broncos and on Instagram at FSU_Broncos. Be sure to like us on Facebook at FSU Broncos. Visit FSUBroncos.com for official updates.
And we are back. It is time for the second set here today. Broncos took the first set 25-22, a very strong back and forth matchup there. Serving for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney, the sophomore out of Niceville, Florida.
Serving number 15, Nakia McKinney.
And the second set is on. There to make the save for the Broncos is number 13, Alicia Ortiz. Last touch by the Knights before it goes out of bounds, which gives the Broncos the first point of the set.
Kill for number 11, Brandy Crawford. Nakia McKinney serving with
Strong kill there by number 11, Brandy Cropper, the sophomore out of Concord, North Carolina. But still serving for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Broncos. It is 1-1. We are tied here, ladies and gentlemen. This will be the first tie of many as a showing by last set. Ties back and forth continuously. A hard-fought matchup last match by the St. Andrews Knights. And number 12, Nia Bell is there to make a strong hit there. And no one is there to make the save for the Knights, which gives the Broncos the lead. It is 2-1, ladies and gentlemen. As I said before, this will be a very back and forth matchup here. And serving for the Broncos is number 12, Nia Bell. She's a sophomore out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. She's been doing great things here for the Broncos today. Ball remains inbounds and no one's there to make the save for the Broncos. Game is tied up once again, 2-2. In for the Knights is number 2, Kia Cheatham. And also in for the Broncos is number 17, Jessica Ware. Serving for the Knights is number 8, Karina Lozada. Strong kill there by number 13, Arlicio Ortiz. Last touch by the Knights. And it goes out of bounds, which gives the Broncos the lead. But once again, it is 3-2. And serving for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark. There to make the save for the Broncos is number 13, Alicia Ortiz. And she is there to make the kill as well. She gives the Broncos the next point to bring it up to 4-2. Broncos continuing the lead so far. Serving for the Broncos once again is number 1, Paige Clark. And the point goes to the Broncos. Double contact there. And the ball just barely makes it over the net by the Broncos. A great save there. Ball goes out of bounds, hit by the Knights, and the point goes to the Broncos. It is 6-2, ladies and gentlemen. Still serving for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark. And the point goes to the Knights.
Serving for the Knights, number 13, Brooke Thomas.
And serving for the Knights is number 13, Brooke Thomas, the sophomore out of Brunswick, Georgia. Score is now 3-6. The Broncos have the lead. Number 5, Tia McLean is there to make the save for the Broncos. Just barely making the save there by the Knights was number 8, Karina Lozada. And no one else was there to get it back over the net. The point goes to the Broncos. Coming in for the Broncos now is number 6, Avery Shaw, as well as number 8, Raven Osley Brown.
Serving number 6, Avery Shaw.
The serve goes out of bounds. The point goes to the Knights. It is 7-4. The Broncos are up.
Serving number 1, Austin Payne.
And serving for the Knights is number 1, Austin Payne, the senior out of Kingsport, Tennessee. Point goes to the Broncos. Looks like we have some double contact there. My apologies. Looks like it was a blocking error, actually.
Serving number 13, Arlicia Ortiz.
And serving for the Broncos is number 13, Arlicia Ortiz. The score is now 8-4. The Broncos are continuing their lead. Ball last touched by the Broncos. It remains inbounds and no one's there to make the save to get it back over the net. Point goes to the Knights. The score is now 8-5. The Broncos are up. And serving for the Knights is number 2, Kia Cheatham. And a great save there by the Knights, but no one is there to make it back over the net. Point goes to the Broncos. It is 9-5. The Broncos are up.
Serving number 5, T.M.
And the point goes to St. Andrews. It is 9-6. And serving for the Knights is number 10, Shalia Powell, the sophomore out of Dayton, Nevada. There to make a return for the Broncos is number 8, Raven Osley Brown. Ball is hit out of bounds by the Knights, but the point goes to the Knights. Looks like we have a delay here. And the point goes to the Broncos. It is 10-7. Coming in for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney, as well as number 11, Brandy Cropper. Serving for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney. Ball just barely remains in bounds. The point goes to the Broncos. Broncos continuing their lead here in this set. It's 11-7. Broncos have the lead, and a timeout is called.
7-11, timeout for St. Andrews.
St. Andrews was there to take the timeout. And we are back here from the timeout. The score is currently 11-7. The Broncos have the lead. And serving for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney. The block is made by the Broncos. And it gives them the point. It is 12-7 here, ladies and gentlemen. Still serving at the line for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney. Serve is hit out of bounds. It is 8-12 for St. Andrews. The Broncos still have the lead here. And serving for St. Andrews is number 20, Tessa Smith. The point goes to St. Andrews. It is 9-12. Ball's hit out of bounds by the Knights, which gives the Broncos the point. It is 13-9. The Broncos have the lead. Serving for the Broncos will be number 12, Nia Bell. And the ball is hit out of bounds by the Broncos, which gives the Knights the point. It is 13-10 here, ladies and gentlemen. As I have stated many times before, this will be a very close matchup here today, ladies and gentlemen. Serving for the Knights is number 8, Karina Lozada. Ball hits goes out of bounds, last touch by the Knights. Point goes to the Broncos. Ball goes out of bounds, last touch by the Knights. Point goes to the Broncos. It is 15-10. Ball's hit out of bounds by the Knights. Point goes to the Broncos. It is 16-10. Taking the serve for the Broncos was number 1, Paige Clark. She is there to make the save for the Broncos as well. And the Knights are not able to get it back over the net. The point goes to the Broncos. It is 17-10, ladies and gentlemen. This is the largest lead of today's game. Once again, serving for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark. And no one is there to make the save for the Broncos to get it back over the net. Point goes to St. Andrews. Coming in for St. Andrews is number 13, Brooke Thomas, as well as number 14, Alex Blackwell. And it looks like number 13, Brooke Thomas, will also be taking the serve for the Knights. Score is currently 17-11. The Broncos have the lead. Last point went to the Knights. And a strong kill there by number 5. That is Tia McLean. She gives the Broncos the point, bring it 18-11. Coming in for the Broncos is number 8, Raven Osley Brown, as well as number 6, Avery Shaw.
Serving number 6, Avery Shaw.
Serving for the Broncos is number 6, Avery Shaw, the junior out of Gig Harbor, Washington State. And a great save by number 17, Jessica Ware. She saves it for the Broncos. Ball hits the net and just barely makes it over. Raven Osley Brown is there to make sure it gets over for the Broncos. A strong block there by number 13, Alicia Ortiz, as well as number 5, Tia McLean. Ball is last touched by the Broncos before it goes out of bounds. Point goes to St. Andrews. It is 12-18 here, ladies and gentlemen. And serving for the Knights is number 1, Austin Payne, the senior out of Kingsport, Tennessee. Arlicia Ortiz is there to make sure it gets over the net for the Broncos. Paige Clark is there to make the save. Ball is blocked by St. Andrews, but it goes out of bounds, which gives the point to the Broncos. Timeout is called. Score is currently 19-14. The Broncos have the lead. We have a timeout here taken by the Broncos. And we are back from the timeout. The score is currently 19-14. The Broncos have the lead. Very solid matchup here so far, ladies and gentlemen. Ball is last touched by the Knights before it goes out of bounds. Point goes to the Broncos. The score is now 20-14. And taking the serve for the Broncos is number 5, Tia McLean. Point goes to the Broncos. The score is now 21-14. Serving for the Broncos is number 5, Tia McLean. And the point goes to the St. Andrews Knights. The score is now 21-15. The Broncos have the lead. In for the Knights is number 10, Alexis Hollis. And it looks like she will also be taking the next serve. Ball is over the net. Ball is hit out of bounds. Last touch by the Knights, which gives the Broncos the point to bring their lead up 22-15. Coming in for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney, as well as number 11, Brandy Cropper. Ball is over the net. Ball is hit out of bounds by St. Andrews, which gives the points to the Broncos. Score is now 23-15. The Broncos are 2 points away from taking this match and continuing their lead. The Broncos took the last set, 25-22. And the Broncos make the save, and number 13, Arlicia Ortiz, is there to make sure it gets back over the net for the Broncos. Ball is hit out of bounds by the Knights, which gives the Broncos the point, and it brings it to match point. It is 24-15 here, ladies and gentlemen. It is set point here for the Broncos. The Broncos have a 9-point lead, which is the biggest lead of today's matchup so far. Ball remains inbounds. Last hit by the Knights. Point goes to the Knights. It is 16-24, and coming in for the Knights is number 16, Lindsay Wagner.
Number 20, Andrews.
You can drop the backpack off. Point goes to St. Andrews. It is 17-24 here, ladies and gentlemen.
38% Andrews, number 20, Tessa Smith.
And serving for the Knights was number 20, Tessa Smith. And number 4, Bojo Jada is there to give the Broncos the point as well as the set. The Broncos take it 25-17. The Broncos win the set, the second set of today. The Broncos are currently up 2-0. And we are back here for the third set of today's matchup, ladies and gentlemen. The Broncos took the first two sets of today's game. Broncos took the first one 25-22 and the second one 25-17. Both sets so far have been very close matchups, very back and forth. As you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, Bronco pride is strong here inside of Felton J. Capel Arena. The ladies of Fayetteville State University are making sure that they remain undefeated here inside of Felton J. Capel Arena. Ball was served by the Knights by number 10, Shalia Powell, and the Broncos take the first point of the matchup. Serving for the Broncos is number 13, Arlisa Ortiz, the senior out of Washington State. Ball is over the net. And the ball does not make it back over for the Broncos. Point goes to St. Andrews to tie the game up at 1-1.
Serving number 20,
and no one is there to make the save for the Knights. Broncos take the point. It is now 2-1. Broncos have the lead. And serving for the Broncos is number 5, Tia McLean. And coming in for the Broncos is number 7, Charlie Daniels. Ball is over the net. Great save there by number 13, Alicia Ortiz for the Broncos. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by St. Andrews, which gives the Broncos the point, which brings the lead up to 3-1. Quick spill there on the floor. It's not cleaned up. We are good here to play ball. And no one is there to make the save for the Knights. Point goes to the Broncos. 4-1 is the score. The Broncos have the lead. And still serving for the Broncos is number 5, Tia McLean. My apologies, the junior out of Tacoma, Washington. The serve goes out of bounds, which gives the point to the Knights. Score is 4-2. The Broncos have the lead. And the ball does not make it back over for the Knights. Score is now 5-2. The Broncos take the point, and the Broncos have the lead. Coming in for the Broncos is number 6, Avery Shaw, as well as number 8, Raven Osley Brown.
Serving Avery Shaw.
And serving for the Broncos is number 6, Avery Shaw, the junior out of Gig Harbor, Washington. And Avery Shaw makes the save for the Broncos. China Hunt is there to make sure it doesn't go out of bounds. Raven Osley Brown is there to just nearly make the save for the Broncos, but it was not able to go back over the net. Point goes to the Knights. Coming in for the Knights is number 12, Autumn Baker, as well as number 13, Brooke Thomas. And it looks like number 13, Brooke Thomas, will also be taking the serve for the Knights. And the Broncos are not able to make sure it gets back over the net. The point goes to St. Andrews. Score is now 5-4. I told you guys this would be a very close matchup, as it has been so far. Still serving for the Knights is number 13, Brooke Thomas. First contact made by the Broncos was number 1, Paige Clark. And the Broncos are not able to get it back over the net. Score is now tied at 5-5. Timeout taken by the Broncos.
Timeout called by Broncos.
And we are back here from the timeout. Serving for the Knights is number 13, Brooke Thomas, the sophomore out of Brunswick, Georgia. Score is tied at 5-5. The Broncos are there to make the block, but it goes out of bounds, which gives St. Andrews the point as well as the lead. The score is now 6-5. Still serving for St. Andrews is number 13, Brooke Thomas. First contact made by the Broncos, number 1, Paige Clark. And the point goes to St. Andrews. They continue the lead. It is now 7-5 here, ladies and gentlemen. The serve goes out of bounds, but it was last touched by the Broncos. Point goes to St. Andrews. The serve does not make it over the net. Broncos have the point. Score is now 6-8. The Broncos are down by 2. Coming in for the Broncos is number 17, Jessica Ware, the freshman from right here in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Serving number 17, Jessica Ware.
And no one is there to make the save for the Broncos. Point goes to St. Andrews. They continue the lead 9-6.
Serving number 1, Austin Payne.
Serving for St. Andrews is number 1, Austin Payne, the senior out of Kingsport, Tennessee. And Raven Ozzy Brown is there to get a strong hit there by the Broncos. Ball goes out of bounds. Broncos point. Score is now 7-9. The Broncos are down by 2.
Serving number 1, Paige Clark.
Serving for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark, the sophomore out of Milton, Georgia. And Alicia Ortiz and Tia McLean are there to make the block for the Broncos. Raven Ozzy Brown is there to take it back over the net. A strong kill there by number 2. That's Kia Cheatham for the Knights. Paige Clark is there to make sure he gets back over the net for the Broncos. Tessa Smith gets it over the net for the Knights. Very back and forth here, ladies and gentlemen. The Broncos are there to make the save. And the Broncos make the save once again. That was number 1, Paige Clark. Very back and forth here, ladies and gentlemen. And the Broncos make the save once again. Oh, and the ball goes out of bounds. The point goes to St. Andrews. It is 10-7. As you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, it is very electric inside of Felton J. Capel Arena. This could be potentially the final set for the Broncos as they are up 2-0. Serving for the Knights is number 2, Kia Cheatham, the senior out of Kalamazoo, Missouri. Alicia Ortiz is there to make the save for the Broncos, and Raven Brown is there to get it over the net. The Knights are turning back over the net. Alicia Ortiz returns it for the Broncos. Once again, very back and forth here, ladies and gentlemen. As you can clearly see, neither team wants to give here. St. Andrews wants to continue their fight. And the ball remains inbounds over the net. Point goes to the Broncos. It is 8-10 here, ladies and gentlemen. Serving for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney. As you can clearly see here, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very back and forth matchup so far. It has been like this all game. Alicia Ortiz makes a save for the Broncos. Paige Clark gets it back over the net. Block is made by the Broncos. That's number 11 and number 5. That's Brandy Cropper, my apologies, and Tia McLean. They get the block for the Broncos and give the Broncos the point. It is 9-10. The Broncos are down by 1 point. Still serving for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney. Nakia McKinney is there to make the save for the Broncos. Point goes to St. Andrews, which continues their lead. It is 9-11. The Broncos are down by 2. And serving at the line for the Knights is number 10, Shalia Powell, the sophomore out of Dayton, Nevada. And the point goes to the Broncos. It is 10-11. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very close matchup here inside of Felton J. Capel Arena, Fayetteville, North Carolina, Fayetteville State University. And the point goes to the Knights. Score is now 12-10. The Broncos are down by 2.
Serving number 20. FSU point. Serving number 5, Team McLean.
Point goes to the Broncos. It is tied at 12-12 here, ladies and gentlemen. Very back and forth so far. Serving for the Broncos is number 5, Tia McLean, the junior out of Tacoma, Washington.
Number 5, Team McLean serving.
And the ball is last touched by the Broncos. It remains inbounds. No one is there to make the save. St. Andrews brings the lead back. It is 13-12. Serving for St. Andrews is number 8, Karina Lozada. And the point goes to St. Andrews. They continue their lead. It is 12-14.
Serving number 8.
Once again, making the serve for St. Andrews was number 8, Karina Lozada. The point goes to the Broncos. It is 13-14 here, ladies and gentlemen. The Broncos are trying to get the lead back. Coming in for the Broncos is number 8, Raven Osley Brown, as well as number 6, Avery Shaw. Great showing by both teams here so far. Neither team wants to give.
Serving number 6 for the
The
Broncos.
Broncos are currently up 2-0 for sets. And serving for the Broncos is number 6, Avery Shaw. She is the junior out of Gig Harbor, Washington. And China Hunt is there to make the save for the Broncos. And no one is there to make the save for the Knights. The Broncos tie it back up. It is 14-14 here, ladies and gentlemen. Very back and forth matchup so far.
Serving Avery Shaw.
And the ball does not make it back over the net for the Knights. The Broncos regain the lead. It is 15-14.
Broncos point. Miss Avery Shaw serving again.
And serving for the Broncos once again is number 6, Avery Shaw. Serve goes out of bounds. Point goes to the Knights. The game is now tied up once again. Coming in for the Knights is number 12, Autumn Baker, as well as number 13, Brooke Thomas. And it looks like number 13, Brooke Thomas, will be taking the serve. She is the sophomore out of Brunswick, Georgia. Point goes to the Broncos. Coming in for the Broncos is number 17, Jessica Ware, the freshman from right here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and she will be taking the serve for the Broncos. The Broncos have the lead currently. It is 16-15. And the ball is over the net. And no one is there to make the save for St. Andrews. Broncos continue to lead 17-15. Timeout taken.
Timeout called out by St. Andrews.
I haven't fixed my money.
Serving for the Broncos is number 15. My apologies, number 17, Jessica Ware. Point goes to the Knights.
Serving number 1, Austin Payne.
Score is currently 17-16. Serving for the Knights is number 1, Austin Payne. Raven Osley Brown makes the hit for the Broncos, but it goes out of bounds. Point goes to the Knights. The game is now tied up here at 17-17. And once again, serving for the Knights is number 1, Austin Payne, the senior out of Kingsport, Tennessee. But the serve does not make it over the net. The point goes to the Broncos. It is 18-17.
Serving Miss Paige Clark.
And serving for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark, the sophomore out of Milton, Georgia. The serve goes out of bounds. Point goes to the Knights. Set is now tied up once again, 18-18. And serving for the Knights is number 2, Kia Cheatham. Raven Osley Brown is there to make sure it goes back over the net for the Broncos. Strong save there, not enough to get it back over the net. St. Andrews takes the lead once again, 19-18. And once again, serving for St. Andrews is number 2, Kia Cheatham, the senior out of Kalamazoo, Missouri. First contact made by number 17, Jessica Ware. Strong kill there by number 13, Arlicia Ortiz. She gives the Broncos the next point and the tie. Coming in for the Broncos is number 21, Ziana Canty, and number 11, Brandy Cropper.
Serving number 20, Diana King.
Looks like this is Ziana Canty's first time in today's matchup. number 5, Tia McLean. Make sure it gets back over the net. Strong kill here by the Broncos. It is 20-19, ladies and gentlemen. And taking the serve once again for the Broncos is number 20, Ziona Canty, the freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And no one is there to make the save for the Broncos. We are tied up once again. It is 20-20. Ladies and gentlemen, a very close set here so far. This is very reminiscent of the first matchup we had here, which ended 25-22 for the Broncos. Looks like we might have a repeat. Serve goes out of bounds. Point goes to the Broncos. It is 21-20. The Broncos regain the lead, and coming in for the Broncos is number 9, China Hunt, the sophomore out of Summerville, South Carolina. First contact made by the Knights, number 8, Karina Lozada. And once again, no one is there to make the save for the Broncos. We are tied up once again. The point goes to St. Andrews. It is 21-21 here, ladies and gentlemen. Serving for the Knights was number 20, Tessa Smith. She gets it over the net. China Hunt makes sure it goes over for the Broncos. And a strong block by the Broncos. China Hunt, Tia McLean, they give the Broncos the next point and regain the lead. It is 22-21. And serving for the Broncos will be number 5, Tia McLean, the junior out of Tacoma, Washington. She was a part of the duo that just gave the Broncos their last point. Ball is over the net, and it remains inbounds. 23-21, that is the score, ladies and gentlemen. Ball just barely remains inbounds. Timeout taken by St. Andrews. And we are back from the timeout. Serving for the Broncos is number 5, Tia McLean. Ball is over the net. First contact made by the Knights is Karina Lozada. Ball goes over, remains inbounds. No one is there to make the save for the Broncos. Score is 23-22. And serving for the Knights is number 8, Karina Lozada. First contact made by the Broncos, number 13, Arlicia Ortiz. China Hunt is there to make sure it goes back over the net. A near save by number 13, Arlicia Ortiz. Ball goes out of bounds. We are tied up once again, 23-23. Very close set here, ladies and gentlemen. Neither team wants to give. Neither team wants this to end. Still serving for St. Andrews, number 8, Karina Lozada. First contact made by number 13, Arlicia Ortiz. Ball is hit out of bounds by the Broncos, which gives St. Andrews their first matchup of my apologies, 24-23. St. Andrews' first match point of today's game. And a timeout is called by the Broncos. And we are back here from the timeout. The score is currently 23 Broncos, 24 St. Andrews. It is set point for St. Andrews. Serving at the line for St. Andrews Knights is number 8, Karina Lozada. And the set goes to St. Andrews. They take the last point, 25-23. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. Your starters so far for St. Andrews, we have Destiny O'Kane, Kylie Winchell, Lindsay Wagner, Shalia Powell, Kia Cheatham, Tessa Smith at libero, and Karina Lozada. And for your starters for Fayetteville State University, we have Ziona Canty, Arlisha Ortiz, Nia Bell, China Hunt, Jade Jacobs, Tia McLean, and Paige Clark. And the first point of the set goes to St. Andrews. Serving for the Knights is number 20, Tessa Smith. And number 12, Nia Bell, is there to make sure it goes back over the net for the Broncos. It does not go back over for St. Andrews. The point goes to the Broncos, and we are tied up here at 1-1. Point goes to the Broncos. It is 2-1 here, ladies and gentlemen. Broncos have the first lead of the set. My apologies. And serving for the Broncos is number 12, Nia Bell. She's currently looking at 10 total attacks for today's game. And the Broncos are not able to make the save. The point goes to the Knights of St. Andrews. We are tied up once again, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2-2 here in the fourth set of today's game. And St. Andrews is not there to make it back over the net. Broncos have the lead once again. It is 3-2. And serving for the Broncos is number 2, Jay Jacobs. So far today, she has 3 kills and 4 total attacks. She's looking at a great game here so far. And St. Andrews there to make a strong kill. They tie it back up once again. That was number 10, Shalia Powell. Coming in for the Knights is number 12, Autumn Baker, as well as number 13, Brooke Thomas. Serve was taken by number 13, Brooke Thomas for the Knights. And Alicia Ortiz was there to make the save for the Broncos. It was not able to get back over the net. Point goes to the Knights. Knights take the lead at 4-3. Once again, taking the serve for the Knights is number 13, Brooke Thomas. So far for today's matchup, she's looking at 1 kill and 2 total attacks. Great matchup here so far, ladies and gentlemen. And the Broncos are not able to make the save. St. Andrews continues to lead 5-3. And still making the serve for St. Andrews is number 13, Brooke Thomas. China Hunt makes sure to get it back over for the Broncos. Paige Clark saves it for the Broncos. And a great save by number 17, Jessica Ware. Ball goes out of bounds, last hit by the Knights. Point goes to the Broncos. It is 4-5. The Broncos are down by 1. And serving for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney, the sophomore out of Niceville, Florida. And the Broncos are not able to save it before it hits inbounds. Point goes to the Knights. And coming in for the Knights is number 1, Austin Payne, the senior out of Kingsport, Tennessee. And she will also be taking the next serve for the Knights. A great save there by the Knights. That was number 1, Austin Payne. And the Broncos are not able to make the save. Point goes to St. Andrews. It is currently 7-4. St. Andrews continues to lead. And a timeout is called by the Broncos. Score is currently 7-4. Broncos are down by 3. Today's matchup score, Broncos took the first 2 sets. St. Andrews took the last one. And we're looking at 2-1. This is the 4th set of today's game. And we are back here from the timeout. Score is currently 7-4. St. Andrews has the lead. Making the serve for St. Andrews was number 1, Austin Payne. And the St. Andrews Knights take the next point to continue their lead. It is 8-4 for St. Andrews. The Broncos are down by 4. And the Broncos are not able to make the save. St. Andrews continues the lead. It is 9-4 for St. Andrews. Broncos are looking to regain the lead. Still serving for the Knights is number 1, Austin Payne. And the Broncos are there to make the save and the block. And they take the point. It is 5-9 for the Broncos. Broncos are looking to regain the lead and take the game. Serving for the Broncos is number 13, Arlicia Ortiz, the senior out of Washington State. Save made by number 1, Paige Clark for the Broncos. Last contact made by number 12, Nia Bell. Ball goes out of bounds. Point goes to the Knights. It is currently 10-5. And coming in for the Knights is number 5, Destiny O'Kane. And coming in for the, my apologies, making the serve for the Knights was number 2, Kia Cheatham. Ball is hit out of bounds by the Broncos. And the point is reversed over to the Broncos. Looks like it is now 6-10 here, ladies and gentlemen. And serving for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark, the sophomore out of Milton, Georgia. Paige Clark looking at a great game here so far. First contact made by the Broncos, number 13, Arlicia Ortiz. Jay Jacobs is there to make sure it gets back over the net. And Jay Jacobs gets the kill and the point. It is 7-10 for the Broncos. The Broncos are looking to regain the lead, take the game. The Broncos were down by 5, but now are only down by 3. So far, we've had 2 different lead changes in this game, and the Broncos are looking to make a third. And the ball is hit out of bounds. Last touch by the Broncos. Point goes to St. Andrews. It's currently 11-7. Coming in for St. Andrews is number 6, Kylie Winchell, as well as number 10, Shalia Powell. First contact made by the Broncos is number 12, Nia Bell. Arlicia Ortiz makes sure it gets back over the net. A block there made by number 2, Jay Jacobs. She gets the block and the point for the Broncos. It is currently 8-11. Coming in for the Broncos is number 20, Ziona Canty, as well as number 9, China Hunt. And it looks like Ziona Canty, the sophomore, the freshman, my apologies, out of Charlotte, North Carolina, will be taking the serve for the Broncos here. And the ball is made over the net. Arlicia Ortiz makes a save for the Broncos, and Nia Bell's there to make sure it gets over the net. Point goes to the Broncos. It is currently 9-11 here, ladies and gentlemen. The Broncos are looking to regain the lead and take the set as well as the match. It is currently 9-11. Serving for the Broncos is number 20, Ziona Canty. The ball is over the net. Nia Bells make sure it gets back over the net once again. Knights are not able to get it back over the net. Broncos take the point. It is 10-11. The Broncos are looking to regain the lead and take the set. And we have a timeout called by the Broncos. And we are back here from the timeout. Score is currently 10-11. Serving for the Broncos is number 20, Zion Akanti, a freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And the ball's over the net. Block is made by the Broncos. Alicia Ortiz gets the save. Jay Jacobs gets it over the net. Ball goes nearly into the crowd, ladies and gentlemen. We have the Broncos point. It is tied at 11-11. Broncos have tied it back up and are looking to take the lead. Once again, still serving for the Broncos is number 20, Zion Akanti. And the ball is over the net. Paige Clark is there to make the save. Jay Jacobs is there to get the kill and the point for the Broncos. The Broncos have taken the lead 12-11. After a near 7-point deficit, the Broncos have now taken the lead once again, 12-11. Once again, serving for the Broncos is number 20, Zion Akanti. Paige Clark gets contact there. China Hunt puts it over the net for the Broncos. Tessa Smith is there to make it over for the Knights. Alicia Ortiz gets a save. Great save there by the Knights. Ball is just barely inbounds. The Knights get the point and they tie it back up once again. And coming in for the Knights is number 16. That's Lindsay Wagner. And taking the serve for the Knights is number 20, Tessa Smith. And the ball is hit out of bounds by the Broncos. Point goes to St. Andrews. They get the lead once again. It is 13-12 here, ladies and gentlemen. The Broncos are down by 1 after having the lead for only just about 1 point. China Hunt puts it over the net for the Broncos. And the Broncos are not able to make the save. Point goes to the Knights. It is 14-12. Nia Bell is there to make the save for the Broncos. China Hunt puts it over the net. Nia Bell making the save once again. Setting up for Jay Jacobs. Ball is hit out of bounds by the Knights. Broncos take the point. It is 13-14. The Broncos are down by 1. Service made by number 12, Nia Bell, and it just barely remains inbounds. Broncos get the point and retie the game. It is 14-14 here, ladies and gentlemen. Nia Bell is serving once again for the Broncos. Ball is over the net. And no one is there for St. Andrews to make the save. Broncos get the point and the lead. 15-14 here, ladies and gentlemen. Ball does not make it over the net. And China Hunt gets it over the net for the Broncos. A very strong hit there. And a save made by number 17, Jessica Ware. Alicia Ortiz gets it over the net. And the Broncos attempt to make the save, but it does not go back over the net. St. Andrews gets the point as well as regains the lead. It is my apology, it is 15-16. The Broncos are down by 1. And serving for the Knights is number 8. That's Karina Lozada. Jessica Ware is there to keep it in balance for the Broncos. China Hunt sends it up. Alicia Ortiz. Alicia gets the point and the tie. It is 16-16. Great kill there by Alicia Ortiz. And serving for the Broncos is number 2, Jay Jacobs, the senior from right here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And the ball's over the net. First contact made by number 8, Karina Lozada for the Knights. Ball's hit out of bounds. Point goes to the Broncos. Broncos get the point as well as the lead once again. It is 17-16. Ladies and gentlemen, I have told you many times this would be a very close set. It's been a very close game here altogether. So far, 5 different lead changes on today's set. Just this set alone. Slight miscommunication there for the Broncos, but they're able to get it back over the net. Jay Jacobs there to make the save. Alicia Ortiz gets the kill once again, and the point for the Broncos, 18-16. Broncos have the lead. And Jay Jacobs is here to serve once again. And can St. Andrews make the save? St. Andrews gets it back over the net. Jay Jacobs, first contact for the Broncos. Trying to hunt. And Jay Jacobs makes a save once again. Broncos get it back over the net. It is hit out of bounds. Point goes to St. Andrews, 18-17. St. Andrews is down by 1. Coming in for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark. Coming in for the Knights is number 12, Autumn Baker, as well as number 13, Brooke Thomas. And number 13, Brooke Thomas, will take the serve. That is the sophomore out of Brunswick, Georgia. The serve does not make it over the net. Broncos get the point, 19-17 here, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in for the Broncos, number 15, Nakia McKinney, as well as number 8, Raven Osley Brown. And number 15, Nakia McKinney, will take the serve for the Broncos. And Nakia McKinney makes a save for the Broncos. Tia McLean gets it over the net. The Knights are not able to save it. Point goes to the Broncos. It is 20-17 here, ladies and gentlemen, and we have a timeout call. And we are back here, ladies and gentlemen. We are back once again. It is 20-17. The Broncos are up by 3. Making the serve for the Broncos was number 15, Nakia McKinney. And no one was there to make the save for the Broncos to get it back over the net. Point goes to the Knights. It is 20-18. So far, the Broncos have taken the first 2 sets, and the Knights came in the 3rd set and took that one. It is 2-1 here, ladies and gentlemen. The Broncos are looking to finish off today's game. Alicia Ortiz gets the kill for the Broncos. Broncos point, 21-18. The Broncos are 4 points away from victory. Coming in for the Broncos is number 16, Tiana Taylor. And making the serve for the Broncos is number 13, Alicia Ortiz, the senior out of Washington State. And the ball is hit out of bounds by the Broncos. The point goes to St. Andrews. 21-19 is the score. St. Andrews is down by 2. Taking the serve for St. Andrews is number 2, Kia Cheatham. And the Broncos get the point. They just barely make it over the net, and no one is there to make the save for the Knights. 22-19 is the score. The Broncos are up by 3 points away from victory here in today's game. And taking the serve for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark. Alicia Ortiz makes a save for the Broncos. Raven Osley Brown is there to make sure it gets over the net with an assist by Nakia McKinney. Ball's last hit by the Broncos before it goes out of bounds. Point goes to St. Andrews. It is 20-22 here, ladies and gentlemen. As you can hear, ladies and gentlemen, Bronco pride is strong here today. Taking the serve for the Knights was number 10, Shalia Powell. Alicia Ortiz makes a save for the Broncos. Nakia McKinney, Raven Brown. And the Broncos just barely make the block and the save. Paige Clark makes a save once again. Tiana Taylor. And the Broncos are not able to get it back over the net. Point goes to the Knights. It is 22-21, a 1-point differential. The Knights are down by 1, and now we have a timeout taken by the Broncos. And we are back from the timeout, ladies and gentlemen. The score is 22-21. The Broncos have the lead by 1. Last point was to the Knights. Taking the serve for the Knights is number 10, Shalia Powell, the sophomore out of Dayton, Nevada. Ball is over the net. Great save there by the Broncos. Alicia Ortiz gets it back over the net. And the Knights cannot make the save, back over the net. Broncos take the point, 23-21. The Broncos are 2 points away from victory, but the Knights are 2 points away from tying it. And taking the serve for the Broncos is number 20, Ziona Canty, the freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Ball is over the net. And the Knights get it back over. Ball remains inbounds. Point goes to the Knights. 23-22. Coming in for the Knights is number 16, Lindsey Wagner. The Knights are down by 1. And taking the serve for the Knights is number 20, Tessa Smith. Paige Clark makes a save for the Broncos. And the ball is out of bounds by the Broncos. We are tied up once again, 23-23. Serving for the Knights is number 20, Tessa Smith. Paige Clark makes a save for the Broncos. China Hunt gets it back over the net. Alicia Ortiz gets the save for the Broncos. Tiana Taylor keeps it inbounds for the Broncos, 24-23. It is game point here for the Broncos. Coming in for the Broncos is number 17, Jessica Ware. And it looks like Jessica Ware will also be taking the serve for the Broncos. She is the freshman out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 1 point away from victory here for the Broncos. The ball is over the net. And the point goes to the Knights. The Knights tie it up once again. It is 24-24 here, ladies and gentlemen. This has been such a close game all day, back and forth. So far, ladies and gentlemen, we have had near 7 different lead changes just in this set alone. Neither team wants to give it away. Serving for the Knights is number 8, Karina Lozada. First contact made by number 1, Paige Clark. Alicia Ortiz. Point goes to the Broncos. Double contact. 25-24. Set point, game point here for the Broncos. And serving at the line for the Broncos is the senior right here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, Jade Jacobs. The Broncos are 1 point away from victory here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my apologies. Looks like switching in for Jade Jacobs will be number 10, Alexis Hollis, the sophomore out of Apex, North Carolina. Ball just barely makes it over the net, ladies and gentlemen. And the Broncos are not able to make the save. We are tied up once again, 25-25. Point goes to the Knights. Coming in for the Knights is number 12, Autumn Baker, as well as number 13, Brooke Thomas. And number 13, Brooke Thomas, will be taking the serve for the Knights. Touched by the Knights before it goes out of bounds. Point goes to the Broncos, 26-25. Once again, it is set point, not only set point, game point for the Broncos. Coming in for the Broncos is number 8, Raven Osley Brown. This matchup has been very back and forth here. Neither team wants to give it away. And the ball is over the net. And his serve is hit out of bounds. We are tied up once again, 26-26. Oh my goodness. I am at a loss of words here. Serving for the Knights is number 16, Lindsay Wagner. And the Broncos are not able to make the save. For the first time, the Knights have set point. It is 26-27. And St. Andrews takes the set, 28-26. We are tied here, ladies and gentlemen. We are tied here for sets. It is 2-2. The Broncos must recover to remain undefeated here in Felton J. Capel Arena. St. Andrews looks to hand the Broncos their first defeat here inside of Felton J. Capel Arena. Looks like the Broncos are going to have to resurge and get it going. And we are back here, ladies and gentlemen. It is the final set of today's game. We are tied 2-2. Both sets have been very strong matchups, very close. Broncos took the first set 25-22, and took the second one 25-17, and then the Knights came back and took the third one 23-25, as well as the fourth one 26-28, and the first point of this set goes to the Broncos. Coming in for the Broncos is number 1, Paige Clark.
Serving for the Broncos, number 1, Paige Clark.
Last game, there were 6 different lead changes, with a final score of 26-28, with the Knights taking it in the end. Point goes to the Knights. It is 2-1 here, ladies and gentlemen. the point goes to the Knights. Once again, it is 2-1 here, ladies and gentlemen. The Knights are up by 1. Ball is back over the net by the Broncos. Hit out of bounds by the Knights. Point goes to the Broncos. We are tied 2-2. Serving for the Broncos was number 2, Jay Jacobs, a senior from right here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And Arlisha Ortiz gets the contact. Arlisha is looking at a great game here so far. Ball is hit out of bounds by the Knights. Point goes to the Broncos. The Broncos have the lead 3-2. Once again, serving at the line for the Broncos is number 2, Jay Jacobs. Paige Clark is there to make the save. Arlisha Ortiz. Ball is hit out of bounds by the Knights. Arlisha Ortiz looking at a great game here so far. She is in the double digits for total kills now. She is at 12 kills for today's game.
Serving in for FSU, Jay Jacobs.
And once again, serving at the line for the Broncos is Jay Jacobs. I apologize, looks like we had an early serve here. Score is currently 4-2. The Broncos are up. We are tied sets. It is 2-2 for sets. The Broncos took the first 2. The Knights taking the last 2. The Broncos looking to remain undefeated here inside of Felton J. Capel Arena. And the point goes to the Broncos with the ball just barely touching the line. 5-2. The Broncos continue the lead. As I just stated, the Broncos are looking to remain undefeated here inside of Felton J. Capel Arena. And we have a timeout taken.
Timeout, St. Andrews.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back from the timeout taken by St. Andrews. Score is currently 5-2. The Broncos are up. And the serve was made by number 2, Jay Jacobs. Oh, and that just barely makes it over the net. Arlisha Ortiz. And the Broncos make the save. With the interference, the Knights get the point. It is currently 5-3. The Broncos are up by 2. And the ball is hit out of bounds by the Broncos. And the point goes to the Broncos. Broncos continue to lead here. It is 6-4.
At least I have an ID for school. Once you get to college, you need to get to college on me. I mean, at least I have an ID for school. At least you got one. I do that.
And the point goes to the Broncos once again. It is 7-4. Broncos looking to continue the lead. And still something for the Broncos is number 15, Nakia McKinney, the sophomore out of Niceville, Florida. and it's over the net. And Alicia Ortiz makes the save for the Broncos. But it looks like we have too many hits over on this Broncos side. Point goes to St. Andrews. And up to serve for the St. Andrews Knights is number 13, Brooke Thomas. Score is currently 7-5. The Broncos are up by 2. First contact made by number 1, Paige Clark. Bojo Jada gets it over the net for the Broncos. And the Broncos are not able to make the save. Knights take the point. It's currently 7-6. And the Broncos are not able to make the save. The score is currently 7-8. St. Andrews is taking the lead. And we're going to pause for the cause here. We're going to switch sides. And the Broncos are not able to make the save. Point goes to St. Andrews. It is currently 7-9. Broncos are down by 2. So far in this set, we've had 3 different lead changes. And this is only early in the set. And we had an early serve here. And serving for the Knights is number 13, Brooke Thomas, the sophomore out of Brunswick, Georgia. First contact made by the Broncos. Raven Osley Brown gets the kill and the point for the Broncos. Broncos get the point, and it is 8-9. Up serving for the Broncos is number 13, Arlisha Ortiz, the senior out of Washington State. And China Hunt is there to make the save for the Broncos. And the ball is just barely out of bounds. But it looks like we had a little bit of some contact. The point goes to the Broncos. We are tied here. Once again, it is 9-9. Up serving for the Broncos is number 13, Arlisha Ortiz. Oh, and a little bit of a switch out there by the Knights. They take the point. It is 10-9. St. Andrews has regained the lead. And serving for St. Andrews is number 1, Austin Payne. And there to make the save for the Knights was number 8, Karina Lozada. And can the Knights make the save? Arlisha Ortiz makes the save for the Broncos. Raven Osley Brown. And the Knights get it back over the net. It's hit out of bounds. Point goes to the Broncos. We are tied up once again. It is 10-10. Taking the serve for the Broncos is number 17, Jessica Ware. And coming back in for the Broncos is number 2, Jay Jacobs. And no one's there to make the save for the Broncos. St. Andrews takes the point and the lead once again. It is 11-10. Taking the serve for the Knights was number 2, Kia Cheatham. Ball is hit out of bounds by the Knights. But there was some contact over on the Broncos side. Point goes to the Knights. And we have a timeout taken by the Broncos. And we are back here from the timeout. The score is currently 10 Broncos, Knights 12. So far in this set, we have had 3 different lead changes. And serving for the Knights is number 2, Kia Cheatham, the senior out of Kalamazoo, Missouri. And the ball's over the net. First contact made by number 9, China Hunt. And the Broncos cannot make the save. And the Broncos just barely make the save. Raven Osley Brown gets the point for the Broncos, 11-3. Coming in for the Broncos is number 6, Avery Shaw, as well as number 11, Brandy Cropper. And taking the serve for the Broncos will be number 6, Avery Shaw. The Broncos are only down by 2. As we've seen with the past sets, the score can change at any moment. The lead can change at any moment. Point goes to the Broncos. Score is 12-13. The Broncos are down by 1, and we have a timeout taken by St. Andrews.
I think I see it.
And we are back here from the timeout. The Broncos are not able to get it back over the net. Score is 14-12. The Broncos are down by 2, but coming in for the Knights is number 10, Shalia Powell, as well as number 6, Kylie Winchell. And taking the serve for the Knights is number 10, Shalia Powell. China Hunt gets it over the net for the Broncos. Oh, and China Hunt makes a save once again. Jessica Ware. There we go. Knights are getting it back over the net. And strong kill there by the Knights. Number 20, Tessa Smith, gets the point for the Knights. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the game. St. Andrews has taken it here. The Broncos have taken their first defeat here inside of Felton J. Capel Arena. Great matchup here today by the Broncos. That is all we have, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to tune in for more information at FSUBroncos.com. As on Monday, our Fayetteville State University Broncos will take on Livingstone in another matchup against them here in volleyball. Tune in to FSUBroncos.com for more information. I am your commentator, Brian Barber, and that is all we have.
Out. All right, Noah. Hey, Noah, you going to that party night? You going to the party night?
Tonight?
Yeah. Oh, y'all got the game on, right? Who y'all playing?
They're in Virginia.
Game to Virginia? I thought it was here. Oh,
We
shoot.
play 3 next week.
Oh, shoot. Who is here?